So who was the top 10 of 1987 in the WWF and the NWA? At number 10, Paul Roma. All right, we're going to start things off controversially. I get it, but just hear me out. It is my top 10 after all. You know what? The Young Stallions, him and Jim Powers, both, were an unproven tag team in the Survivor Series tag team elimination match against other established tag teams such as Heart Foundation and Demolition. And so the fact that the Young Stallions, became the winners of that match, that's pretty crazy. So, and I'm just looking at pay-per-views only, people. All right, I'm just looking at pay-per-views. So, I'm sorry, Paul Roma, number 10. At number 9, Robert Gibson from the Rock and Roll Express. Him and Ricky, they defeated their nemesis, the Midnight Express, in a fucking scaffold match. So yeah, get you on the list right there. At number 8, Nikita Koloff. He, the Russian Nightmare had a really good year, and at the end, he ended up unifying the NWA and the UWF TV titles. So, number 7, Ric Flair. Ric Flair, headlined Starrcade. He had an insane cage match with Ronnie Garvin, and he won the world title back. So, yeah. At number 6, Jim Powers. All right, so you already heard me go on about Paul Roma, so, just apply it to him. You may be asking yourself, how I decide, who's going, if you're ranking tag team wrestlers individually, who goes up, whatever. And I guess the rule of thumb is, in every tag team, there's always a Shawn Michaels and a Marty Jannetty. And so I'll put the Shawn Michaels up higher, I guess, which, may seem kind of odd that I'm putting Jim Powers over Paul Roma. Because, we'd all know Paul Roma will eventually pull away and, have more of a career than Jim Powers. However, I think in this showing, Jim Powers definitely looked like he was a standout of the two. So, at number 5, Ricky. That's right, Ricky Morton, Rock and Roll Express. I already mentioned everything with Robert, so we'll go on to number 4 now. At number 4, Tully Blanchard. Tully Blanchard, him and Arn, they were dominating the tag team scene at this point. World tag team champions, just, kicking ass, taking names. Really the only, real threat was the Road Warriors, which, they actually picked up a win on. It was an upset victory, and a lot of people, said they kind of stole that one, but still yet. So, at number 3, Arn Anderson. I just mentioned it with Tully, so I'm not going to repeat myself. At number 2, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat had a great 87. In WrestleMania 3, he had an epic showdown with, the Macho Man Randy Savage. And then we'd go ahead to Survivor Series, and on his team, along with Savage, who has, finally joined up with him, and Jake the Snake Roberts, the three of them would actually be the sole survivors of their team. Ricky Steamboat is actually the first and only person to be ranked in all 3 top 10 lists we've done so far. He was in there in 85, 86, and now 87. And the number 1 wrestler of 1987, Dusty Rhodes. There's only one guy on the roster who could stand up to the Four Horsemen, and that was Dusty Rhodes. He could face a possible suspension, and he had to put that up on the line against Lex Luger inside of a cage. But he beat Luger, took his U.S. title, was not suspended, and continued to stick it to the Four Horsemen.